Good evening and welcome to 6:30 News. I'm Beverly Fairweather. In the news, the first snowstorm of the year causes problems for local drivers, and a Shannonville couple gets a rude awakening.
And I'm Angela Gemmel. In sports, the Bulls win by a landslide and mixed results for Canada's NHL teams. Details on these stories and more after the news. Beverly?
Thank you, Angela. The first real snowstorm of the season has brought a harsh reminder about winter driving in the Quinte area. As Tony Grace reports, slippery conditions have made for dangerous roads across the region.
Things got off to a pretty rough start on roads in the Quinte region this morning. About 4 centimeters of fresh snow fell across the area overnight and contributed to a number of accidents. This single vehicle crash on River Road in Corbyville around 9:30 this morning was just one of many weather-related accidents in the region. The roads out here in Corbyville were very slippery at the time of the accident, and as you can see behind me, the car actually slid off the road, hitting a hydro pole and narrowly missing the Moira River. Extrication equipment was called in to the scene of this crash, and city police say 2 people were taken to Belleville General Hospital with minor injuries. Altogether, today's weather is being blamed for about 50 accidents between Kingston and Port Hope, most of them along the 401. Another crash on Dundas Street East near Belleville city limits sent 1 person to hospital with minor injuries. City police dealt with about a dozen in-town accidents alone. Of course, up until now, we really haven't had to deal with winter driving conditions here in the Quinte area. But now that the first taste of Old Man Winter has arrived, area sand trucks and salters will be getting an extra workout, both here in Belleville and in the outlying areas. A good reminder to take it easy and give yourself plenty of extra time to get where you're going. Tony Grace, 6:30 News.
A Shannonville couple got a rude awakening this morning when a car smashed through their front window of their home. Cyril and Janet Weiss were sound asleep at 1:30 this morning when the car, driven by 2 girls, slammed into their house. No one was injured. A court appearance for a local broker facing 123 fraud-related charges has been postponed. Former Quinte West financial broker Rick Carfla will be in court January the 27th. Carfla was charged after complaints from 34 investors involving more than $1.6 million. Ice fishing, a way of life on the Bay of Quinte. Although the season started later than usual this year, Shauna McDonald explains why winter fishing is just getting underway.
Finally, it's here, ice fishing season. The recent cold snap has allowed the season to continue. The lack of ice in the Bay of Quinte has prevented fishermen from dragging their huts out onto the ice. When the fishing season is put on hold, sometimes so is local business.
We've still had quite a few people going and buying tackle and minnows and worms, but it has slowed us down quite a bit for ice hut rentals because of not being able to get them out there.
So now that the ice is ready, what's the catch? Walleye, a type of pickerel, is the fish of choice out on the bay. Unfortunately, the slow start has affected the size and number of fish caught this year, making the challenge to get the big one greater. So when in pursuit of the perfect pickerel, there are some safety tips one should keep in mind.
They should always chip the ice themselves and mark, the ice themselves to make sure they're comfortable with the ice conditions and not go by what other people have said.
The rule of thumb is the ice must be 8 inches thick. Whether you are fishing or even skating, make sure when you venture out on the ice you are not alone, or someone knows where you are. Shauna McDonald, 6:30 News, Belleville.
There's nothing worse than getting into a cold car, especially when it won't start. As Don Adams reports, there are some handy tips to help your car be winter friendly.
The cold weather is here, and that means you may find your car not starting. In these temperatures, it's not unusual for people to make mistakes.
They don't think it's going to happen to them, and they don't make it a priority in their preparations. I mean, they'll do everything else. They'll maybe look at tires and get some good tires on there, and they think because antifreeze is green that it's good, and that's not necessarily true.
Keeping your car winter friendly is not hard if you remember to do a few things. Check that the engine is in good shape. Make sure that your coolant system is always topped up, And a mistake often made is not checking your brake and suspension system.
You don't want to have a situation with icy and snowy roads where brakes are being applied unevenly or a car has a pull to one side or another. That's bad enough stopping on slippery roads as it is without having a drivetrain problem.
Remember, if your car runs well in the summer, that doesn't mean it will in the winter. A block heater is good when it's cold, so you can always plug your car in. A battery warmer is always useful. When the weather drops to below freezing, the efficiency of your battery often is affected. Dawn Adams, 630 News, Loyalist College.
That's the news. The Loyalist men's basketball team improves its record. Angela Gemmel has a look at the sports next.
Hi, I'm Chris Newberry of the Belleville Bulls. And I'm Michael Renzi. We're here today to encourage everyone to play smart and to play safe. Which means no hitting from behind, no matter what. If you can see the other player's number on the back of his jersey, please do not hit him, as any unseen hit can be very dangerous. We're speaking to you today not only as members of the Belleville Bulls, but also as members of the Quinte area community. Hockey is a team sport, which relies on everyone to do their own part to win. It also relies on everyone to play fairly so that everyone at any level can enjoy the game.
So if you're going to play the sport, please be a sport and don't hit from behind, because no one should be taken away.
It was a big win for the Belleville Bulls last night at the Yardman Arena. The Bulls pounded the visiting Brampton Battalion 8-1. Ben Forgy has more.
Brampton scored the only goal in the first period as Aaron Van Loozen slid one past Belleville goaltender Corey Batten. It was still 1-0 at 3:53 of the second period when Belleville tied it up with this goal from Chris Stanley. The Bulls continued to press as Nate Robinson snuck one in to make it 2-1 Bulls. The Bulls would add another when Branislav Mezzi popped in a power play goal past Scott Delavadova to make it 3-1 Bulls after the second. Belleville continued to dominate in the third period when Jonathan Chichu scored shorthanded to make it 4-1. The Bulls went on to score 4 more goals in the period, including Jonathan Chichu's second of the night. Kyle Wellwood would add another to make the final 8-1 Belleville. So a big win for the Bulls as they head into the global game of the week on Saturday against Toronto. Game time is 2 o'clock at the Yardman Arena. Ben Forgy, 630 Sports, Belleville.
The Belleville Bulls have been awarded the honor of hosting the Father David Bauer Cup. It's a 4-day tournament involving the Canadian national team, the Czech Republic, and Slovakia. Belleville Bulls Director of Business Development Kevin Reddy made the announcement during a press conference at the Yardman Arena this morning. The tournament will run from March 30th until April 2nd. 2 wins, a tie, and a loss for Canadian teams in the NHL last night. Detroit spotted Vancouver a 3-0 lead before scoring 3 times in the second period to earn a 3-all tie. Edmonton routed Calgary 7-0 to end the Flames' 4-game winning streak, and Montreal is enjoying a season-high 4-game unbeaten string after a 3-0 win over the New York Islanders. The Loyalist Lancers men's basketball team had to give it everything they had to hold off the St. Lawrence Vikings last night. The OCAA Lancers beat St. Lawrence by a score of 75-65 in their second of a 4-game home stint. Franco Veneruzzo and Andrew Ferris led the way for the Lancers. Veneruzzo had 18 points while Ferris had 11. Assistant Athletic Director Jim Buck says the Lancers played very well defensively. The win improves Loyalist's record to 3-4, still challenging for a playoff spot. Canada's only NBA team in action last night had a close loss. Paul Pierce led Boston's dramatic fourth-quarter comeback in a 94-90 thriller over Toronto. This is the Raptors' 5th straight road loss. That's all for sports. It's supposed to clear tonight, but temperatures will continue to drop. Lindsay Young will have your weather details next.
Here we have two couples. Couple number one have been together for 2 years and like to live life on the edge. Couple number two have been together for 3 years and love each other very much and spend all of their time together. Both of these couples are experimenting with what most people this age are doing. But did you know a teen is 9 times more likely to get a sexually transmitted disease than an adult? Or that 1 out of 4 teens contract an STD before they graduate high school? Please help educate your child about safe sex. Don't leave it up to the schools.
Crowded into the smallest spaces, while outside all of nature cries. It's known to be cruel and unfair, there is no place to hide. Ooh, I've seen a part of people that I never really wanna share.
It was another cold and snowy day. The snow should hold off for the next few days, but it's going to get really, really cold tonight. Before we get into those details, let's take a look at what happened in the rest of southern Ontario. Windsor saw light snow with a high of -8. It was much the same all over the board, getting colder as we move east. Light snow in Toronto as well, a high of -8. It was the same story in Peterborough, a high of -10. And finally, in the nation's capital, Ottawa saw some light snow with a high of -11. In the Quinte region, snow made for some pretty tricky driving conditions, a total accumulation of about 6 centimeters. Temperatures steady at around -7. Now let's take a look at the long-range forecast. Gradually clearing this evening, high wind chill and cold with a low of -23. The sun will shine tomorrow, but we'll have some high wind chill and a daytime high of -14. For Saturday, sunny and cold again with a low of -26 and a high of -11. Sunday will be mainly cloudy with scattered flurries, a high of -5 and a low of -16. And for Monday, periods of scattered flurries, a high of -4 and a low of -14.
Well, there's a lunar eclipse tonight. What's that going to be like?
Well, it should start at about 9, just after 9 o'clock, and hopefully if the sky's clear enough, we'll be able to see a very orange moon tonight.
That's good. I'm looking forward to it.
That's our look at news, sports, and weather. For Angela Gemmell and Lindsay Young, I'm Beverly Fairweather. Thanks for watching and good night.